Hey guys, Aaron Wilson at NRG Stadium. We are here on a Saturday afternoon, days away from the Texans' big Monday Night Football game, first Monday Night Football home game in years here at NRG Stadium. Something of an honor when they award you that kind of game. And one of the key factors to me of this game would be, can the Texans build on one of the things the offense did right, running the football with Nick Chubb? As you guys know, he was able to have some success running the ball. They were able to get some things done. And I thought overall, it was effective. It was a good start for him. So he ran for 60 yards. He had 13 carries. They did have balance in terms of the run game. So first half, you saw them run it 7 times for 31 yards. He had his longest run in the first half, 13-yard run. Second half, 6 more runs, 29 yards. And as Nick Caley said, and as Nick Chubb reinforced, feels like he's the kind of back that gets stronger as the game goes on. I just think that 13 carries, he handled that workload very well. And to me, you could expand on that. He averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Run the football a little more. It will be tough to do that unless you're hitting some gaps and getting away from the force of nature that is Buccaneers' 2-time Pro Bowl nose tackle, Vita Vea, about 6'4", 347 pounds of bad news. And just a rough, tough customer, very mobile and very stout against the run. Hard to move that guy. So you need to hit some angles, you need to get outside of him, you want to get away from him. You don't necessarily want to go head up with Vita Vea. And that is another one of the challenges for new Texans starting center Jaret Patterson. Still no Jake Andrews. He is sidelined with a high ankle sprain. So don't look for him this game. Could be even longer. They didn't injury reserve him, so obviously they feel like he can make it back within a 4-game span. But turned his ankle against the Rams, and now it's Jaret Patterson. The good news about Patterson and C.J. Stroud is they have some chemistry. Even as a nickname from C.J. C.J. calls them Slime. They are boys. They hang out. They're friends. And Patterson is a technician. He's a former 6th-round pick from Notre Dame. He has started 16 of 23 career games for the Texans. And he's had his moments. I feel like he holds up well. He's a smart football player, good at the communications for the blocking protections. If they need to change something with the protection schemes, Patterson is capable of doing that. But doubling back to Chubb, who's a man of few words, and I'll bring him to you. We'll definitely include that video. It's on the channel on a short, but I want to have it as part of this video as well for you guys to see. And he says they just didn't win the game. So nothing really encouraging to him about the first game. All that matters to him is winning. So they didn't get a touchdown, as he noted, and playing against a team like the Buccaneers, there's definitely some challenges. They play hard, stout, tough, very physical. So it's a big challenge, and he says that he looks forward to this challenge. So a lot of this, about Chubb and trying to run the football, which would take some pressure off of C.J. Stroud and the passing game, which is obviously a work in progress. They didn't do a good enough job of getting the football to Nico Collins. That's a big focus for me on this whole video is the things that they do well, you need to emphasize. And this isn't me being any kind of genius. I've never called plays. Obviously, I've never coached. But I played football. But one thing I would say about the Texans, they need to ride the hot hand. And they need to find ways, creative ways to get the football. For Nico Collins to only have 3 catches for 25 yards on 5 targets, they need to double that. I think they will. I think they will increase his involvement. I think that was one of the failings of the first week. I understand all what they're saying about 2nd and long, 3rd and long, being a bad place to work out of. So the penalties have to stop. And when I think about how do you stop them? You got to coach them. You got to make the player aware of, well, what are you thinking? What's causing the penalty? How do you be constructive about it rather than just yelling at the guy or saying, we're going to bench you if you have no more penalties? Obviously, they never benched Larry Tunsil. So with these players, figuring out a way to cut down on the penalties. Some of them were from backups like Blake Fisher with the face mask penalty. But that can't happen. So, they need a good week of practice. I'm hearing that they did. And then they get back at it. So a couple updates from this Saturday morning practice. So what you had here was the same. No Christian Kirk and no Braxton Berrios. They're not playing Monday Night Football. and you will have no Jake Andrews. What you do have, and we detailed this extensively in the other video that was posted yesterday with these mannequins behind me wearing the jerseys of a couple of GOATs, a couple of the greatest of all time, Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt, just a cool place to shoot the video. I would say, yes, you will see, Ed Ingram at right guard. I believe, you'll of course have Titus Howard at right tackle, and I believe, I'm sure that you'll have that as right tackle. Left tackle, Ariante Urseries tries to bounce back from a game where he felt like he got his butt whipped. He was very accountable about that, was not happy with his performance in his NFL regular season debut. So maybe at left tackle, maybe that's more his speed. I feel like he's a natural left tackle. It does make a difference. Tackle is not just tackle. Whether you are taking that first step with your left foot or your right foot does make a difference. So you get him over there on the left side. They have to block Hassan Reddick. They have to block Diabate. They have to do a good job with those guys. And there's some fire blitzes and some other things that Tampa Bay will do. And so we'll go over some of the other matchups within this game and kind of break it all down as we go forward a couple of days here before kickoff. A couple of programming notes. So Sunday night, Sports Sunday, KPRC2 with myself and Randy McElvoy. We'll have a special feature on Daniil Hunter about his passion for fashion. So that's part of the show. And of course, we'll have regular coverage about the matchups, how we see this game unfolding, and then coverage throughout the day with Randy and others on the big Monday night game. And then, of course, we'll have post-game coverage, in-game coverage. We'll have it all for you at KPRC2 at www.click2houston.com. And of course, I'll have YouTube videos as well. So there will be some coverage, and we'll kind of go through some of the things with the offense and the defense. So we'll start with Texans offense with things I haven't covered yet. So for C.J. Stroud, I thought he played pretty well, but he was failed by his pass protection. Guys needed to get more separation. The interception was caused by, Kobe Durant making a great play and Jaden Higgins not doing enough to get the football away from him. I think they'll give Higgins more chances. He's a talented player, so they're not going to move on from him. With the offensive line, the highest graded lineman, and for my money, the best lineman on this team, whether he's a guard or a tackle, it is Titus Howard, their former first-round draft pick. He played very well. With Titus, you've got that, kind of one position locked down. You've got things covered with him. So that's good. That's good, but you need more guys to have good football games. They like what they've seen from Justin Watson.
That's always a plan to get better as the season goes on, as weeks go by. We had a great week of practice this week, so looking forward to go out there Monday night.
What is it about kind of going later in the game that you feel like you're able to get better as the game goes?
I think as the game goes, I think every running back agrees to that. You get in a better rhythm, and as the game goes on, you get stronger. So,
Nick, are you encouraged by, this was your first real game with these guys, and you had, I think, about a 4.1 average and some yardage. Do you feel encouraged by it, sort of glass half full?
I guess, at the end of the day, we didn't win the game, so that's all that matters to me and this team, just to win, whatever that looks like. So we'd love to get a win this week.
Talking about that, as you guys look to bounce back, what would you say was the biggest lesson from that game?
Probably the biggest lesson, just take advantage of our defense being so good and score some points for them and help them out a lot. I think offense. I think it hurt us not to score a touchdown in that game, and looking forward to going out this week and improving in that area.
What do you feel like you guys did well offensively against the Rams? I know not getting into the end zone, but there were some positives. The group up front did give you some lanes to run in. What'd you like?
I think just overall, I think we all played hard. We communicated, we played hard. We got behind the sticks, and it's hard to play like that, especially in an away game with their fans cheering loud. So just the biggest thing is just us continue to communicate, loud, and go out there and put everything to work.
Nick, last one from me. Tampa Bay, they're pretty stout against Bijan Robinson. What do you see from their front, and as far as them as a run-stopping defense?
They're really good defense up front. Those guys up front play hard, stout, tough, very physical. So, it's a challenge for us, and we look forward to it.
When you go up against when you're knowing you're going up against one of the better run defenses in the league, how do you maybe look at that? How do you maybe approach that as well?
well, you start by having a good week of practice, and that's what we did. And other than that, it's going to be a grind. So you get your mind right for it. You get prepared.
You've done a lot in this league, man. Is Monday night still special, or is it just another game?
Another game.
Okay, guys.
Ethic. That's why they wound up using him a little bit. I think they're a little more comfortable with a veteran presence. Jalen Noel did have a couple of good punt returns, 2 returns for 20 yards. So I think they'll go forward with that. I can see Juice Scruggs being a backup center for them now with the injury. In fact, I expect that. And then you have, in terms of practice squad, City Sal, former Patriots starter, so he gives you an opportunity to have someone up. Cade Stover had successful foot surgery, I'm told. So we'll see when he can get back. No real clear timetable, but I'm sure it'll be more than 4 weeks, which is the soonest he could get back. But I think we're looking more at 6 to 8 type of deal. We'll see when he can get back out there. So, yeah, tough injury. With running backs, I think the depth chart's the same. I don't think there's any change yet. I would say, obviously, Nick Chubb's RB1, but RB2 is still Damian Pierce. RB3, Dargo Buale, and RB4. Woody Marks. So we'll see. Does that change any when we get to the game? And so, there's some of the things going on with the offense and trying to move the football, try to get this thing going. And so some of the defensive matchups, when you think about what Tampa Bay has, so they have good defensive ends or they call them an outside linebacker, Yaya Dabe. They have a good 3-4 defense with Kalijah Cansey, also is good at getting off the football. Vita Vea, we talked about before. Logan Hall, former University of Houston Cougar, big 2-gapping type of defensive end. And then inside backer, it doesn't get much better than Levante David, one of the true pros, just a steady guy. You know what you're getting with him. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a playmaker there in the secondary. There's other safeties, Tyke Smith. Sometimes people feel like they can pick on Jamel Dean. They have Zion McCollum from Sam Houston. And then off the bench, no one that really, I would say, moves the meter a ton, but it's definitely some good football players. So they got some depth, absolutely. And so offensively, for the defense, because we've talked a lot about the offense, and the defense, of course, they only got 14 points. And we'll see what they can do. They're going to be very conscious of Baker Mayfield, his ability to ad-lib, to be elusive, to get out of the pocket, to contain Baker Mayfield, because he is a dual-threat quarterback. And a lot of people talk about what he can do from the pocket, and he can beat you with his arm, beat you with his mind, and beat you with his feet. He is mobile. So, yeah, you cannot just dismiss that. They have a good, solid running back in Bucky Irving. They, of course, on the other side of the football, held Bijan Robinson 24 yards. So the running game is going to be central to this as well. No Chris Godwin. Emeka Egbuka, who a lot of people wanted to be a Texan, had a couple of touchdowns his debut, so he's already off to a good start. And then no Tristan Wirfs. So what that means is they'll move Graham Barton, their center, to left tackle. Potential edge here for the Texans. And then if Luke Gadeke, who is now one of the highest paid right tackles in the game, if he can't go, guess who's going to go? Big Charlie Heck, former Texan offensive tackle, and my former neighbor. He used to live right down the block from me. He said one time, he wasn't stalking me, but he said he saw me getting some coffee. And I said, I should have came over. He was busy, he was doing his own thing. But Charlie, good guy, solid, but definitely not great. So maybe there's some opportunities there against him. And, they have Teddy Bridgewater as the backup. They've got, Sterling Shepard. They've got Tez Johnson. They've got some receivers. Overall, though, they kind of lean on, obviously, Mike Evans and trying to get him the football now, Emeka Egbuka with Chris Godwin injured. So some things on Buccaneers offense against Texans defense. Some good football players. Definitely a challenging matchup. And for Texans, they're, obviously will try to, go with everything that they can do in terms of headlining and featuring Will Anderson Jr., who's off to a good start, Daniel Hunter, a little bit of a slow start, but I expect him to get going. And then, they kind of alternate all of those guys. It's like they have 4 starters with Mario Edwards Jr., Sheldon Rankins, Tim Settle Jr., and Foley Fatukasi. And this is, of course, Azeez Al-Shire's hometown team. He grew up a Ravens fan, big Ray Lewis guy, but the team that he grew up around. And so it kind of comes full circle for Azeez Al-Shire. So interesting. Someone that I don't think is getting enough credit for playing some outstanding lights-out football, hard-hitting, hard-nosed football, type of football I think the Texans are all about. They think about swarm, all that kind of thing. And that's Henry To'oTo'o. And that's why you're not seeing Christian Harris or EJ Speed. It's because To'oTo'o is getting it done. So not even running a lot of 3 linebacker sets. We'll see on the other side of the football, do they do much 12 personnel? They do like Harrison Bryant. We'll see how much does Harrison do behind Dalton Schultz. And then, with the secondary, the good news is Derek Stingley Jr., not even on the injury report. Hip is fine. That's good news. They need a better coverage game from Jalen Petrie. We'll see what they do to try to get those matchups. Texans are cognizant of it, obviously, but can they stop it? I think that, it's difficult when they're trying to, isolate one of their players to get a matchup that they're looking for. And that's what strategy is in football. You're looking for mismatches. You're looking to find the weaknesses in the defense. Great blitzer, great run stopper. He's capable of finding the football. He had 5 interceptions as a rookie. At nickel, sometimes you do run into some challenging matchups. So we'll see, do they change anything? C.J. Gardner-Johnson definitely still needs to improve in his knowledge of the defense and making plays. And there were some things where I didn't think they were on the same page, including on one of the touchdowns. So, yeah, that's something that he's got to work on the field and behind the scenes as they continue to try to improve the defense overall. And yes, he has a Super Bowl ring, but that doesn't mean anything this year. So he's definitely got to play a little better. First game back from the knee injury. We'll see if he can do more. Same thing with Darrell Taylor, who had an outstanding preseason, is really capable of contributing a lot. Can he do more? And then looking at some of the depth there, will they need an MJ Stewart? Will they use a Tremont Smith? But overall, it's kind of, the starters, what's happening there. And then with the specialists, I think Jalen Knowles doing well. I would say that Cami Fairbairn's off to a great start, especially kicking inside. We'll find out soon, is the roof going to be open? It seems like they're contemplating having the roof open. We'll see what the weather's like. Do the Texans do that? And I could see them doing it. I could see them having that roof open. We'll see how they decide to go about it. But Saturday morning practice, kind of a walkthrough. They were inside NRG Stadium, and it was a deal where, we saw a little bit of it, but enough to take attendance and kind of get a handle on it. And then a brief locker room period with some interviews of Nick Chubb and Will Anderson Jr. So we got some late week, good quality interviews with those guys, and we'll bring those to you as well. Overall, I think with the Texans, they're fired up. They're 0-1, but it is not the end of the world. They're trying to get things going back on a winning track. 0-2 is possible. It could happen. This is no gimme. This is a tough game. But I think the Rams are a better team than the Buccaneers, and the Texans should have a chance to bounce back. So it kind of surprised me if they don't bounce back. Guys, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing to this channel at Aaron Wilson Sport. If you're new, please give me a subscribe. I appreciate it. It costs you nothing. I promise this is absolutely free of charge. And of course, I'm on Twitter and X, @AaronWilson_NFL. Instagram, AaronWilson7128. We have our Texans page at www.click2houston.com. Again, all free. And of course, you can watch over the airwaves at KPRC2 and KPRC2 Plus. So guys, we have a lot going on. We'll still have more coverage. We'll be talking about this all the way up until kickoff. So more videos to come. But I wanted to kind of have because this is probably my last time here until game day. So we'll see if there's some time to do a pregame video or not, if there's any late breaking stuff. I don't anticipate that. Elevations probably won't be that interesting. Maybe it's Jakob Johnson, maybe City Sow, maybe both. We'll see how they go forward with that to fill in with the offensive line and to just kind of be accountable for whatever might come up. So they got to be ready. Until next time, guys, I look forward to our new conversation. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. And definitely some good things happen on the channel. More to come. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
defensive back. He's really good. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. I thought we did a really good job preparing this week for them, and it's going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. You know, of course, Tristan Wirfs coming back. I think the right tackle had an ankle injury that came back. Like, how do you prepare for that when you don't know whether somebody might not play or not?
Yeah, man, it's the NFL. You know, we have film on them and just studying them, but it's respecting our opponents no matter who's on the field, man. And it's really just about us going out there, executing our game plan, and making sure that we're in our, you know, we're dialed in, detailed, and making sure that we're rushing together, playing together, and just being one.
Well, is there an elusiveness factor with Baker? You know, we see sometimes he is willing to run. And
Yeah, most definitely. Like, Coach made a whole cut up, man, of just him escaping the pocket, him escaping, you know, people missing sacks on him and stuff like that. So it's going to take all 11 guys to get into the ball and really wrap him up and get him down.
Your defensive backs are talking about having to cover the receivers twice.
Yeah.
Do you almost have to kind of take that mentality when he's involved extending plays?
Yeah, Coach Ryan's made a big point, man. Keep rushing. Don't ever think you got him, man. Everybody keep rushing, keep hunting, and get into the ball.
Well, you played in some real big games throughout your college career. Is there any difference in playing in those type of games and playing in the game that you all are heading into now, the home opener, Monday Night Football, first time ever?
Yeah, man, football is always going to be football. And I think that's like one of the biggest things for this team, man. It's like ball ain't never changed. It's been the same since you've been 5, 6 years old, man. Just at a bigger stage. And it really just the biggest thing, man, just going out there having fun, letting loose, man, and just letting go, man, and just letting your instincts take over and just doing your job.
Well, when you don't start the season with a win, what's the hunger like? Obviously, you want to win every week, but in particular, you're at home, all those things, kind of the country's watching, just to get back on a winning run.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's just like, how do we respond? Like, what's next? Like, what's our mentality going to this game, man? And the mentality is to win, man. But it's just going to take all of us executing, man, being down, and just having urgency. And it's just more mental urgency to get the job done and compete.
That being said, is there something special about a primetime game at NRG?
Everybody's watching, man. We got the fans here. Hopefully it's open, man. We just get to get this W for the fans.
Well, what are some of the biggest things that you took away from that Rams game and improving on the defense?
Yeah, like I said, urgency, mental urgency, man, to get the job done. Everybody executing, everybody be on the same page and moving around.
All good?